Spur-of-the-moment crimes can occur for various reasons, including those that seem hardly worth acting on. Sometimes criminal activities are also born from a completely bizarre belief to justify actions. Here are 10 of the strangest reasons people thought it was a good idea to commit a crime. 10. Rutledge Des IV, faked disability for a diaper change. In November 2019, a 29-year-old New Orleans man, Rutledge Des IV, was arrested for faking a disability and hiring caretakers to change his soiled diapers for him. He hired the women through an online babysitting app by claiming a fake younger brother, Corey, had special needs. One of the caretakers was a college student who changed Corey's, who was Des, diaper 6 times, including at a Walmart and a coffee shop. After realizing the scam, 4 of the caretakers he hired went to the police. They claimed he would visibly get aroused during the changes. Although initially booked on 10 counts of sexual battery and other charges, the district attorney, DA, charged Des with 4 counts of human trafficking. The DA said there was insufficient evidence to successfully prosecute the alleged counts of sexual battery, because he did not reach out to touch the caretakers. Instead, by deceiving the women into touching him, he could be charged with human trafficking. The courts gave Des a $1.5 million bond. His lawyers claimed he suffered from mental health issues due to sexual trauma from his childhood. In December 2020, Des avoided up to 10 years in prison and received the following sentence: 5 years probation, 400 hours of community service, maintain employment, undergo internet addiction counseling, stay off of social media. 9. Curtis Reeves, killed man for texting in the theater. A retired police captain from Tampa, Florida, Curtis Reeves, takes his movie-going experience very seriously. So serious, in January 2014, he shot Chad Olson after a verbal argument about Olson texting through the previews. According to police reports, during the argument, Olson threw his popcorn packet at Reeves' face. Reeves told police Olson hit him in the face with an unknown object. In response, Reeves took out his handgun and killed Olson on the spot with a shot to the chest. Reeves tried to claim self-defense for his actions. However, based on witness reports, the court ruled against his claim and charged Reeves for second-degree murder. On December 11, 2017, the appeals court decided to look into the Reeves, stand your ground, defense. This Florida law states that someone has the right to use deadly force if they fear physical harm or death by a threatening person. The appeals judge ruled against self-defense, and Reeves finally will face trial in April 2021. 8. Christopher Ragsdale, assaulted because of horrible fart smell. Christopher Ragsdale, age 41, from Iowa, experienced blind rage on January 5, 2020, over a complaint of the foul odor of his fart. While hanging out with his girlfriend at a friend's house in Wichita Falls, Texas, he passed gas, and his girlfriend said it smelt horrible. In reaction, he pulled her down by the hair, sat on her back, and began choking her until their friend showed up in the room. The friend went to get keys so they could leave. That was when Ragsdale's girlfriend walked to another room. He followed her and headbutted her, prompting the friend to call the police. Police arrested Ragsdale for assault, family violence, and choking. The court set his bond at $10,000. 7. Fergus John Glenn, he didn't say the magic words. While it's always nice to be appreciated, not getting a thank you is rarely a reason to kill. For 36-year-old New Zealand man Fergus John Glenn, it was. On March 7, 2003, Fergus struck his sleeping 33-year-old brother Craig with a wood-splitting axe 8 times across the neck and face. After the murder, Fergus met his mother as he returned the axe to the basement and calmly confessed he had killed his brother. His mother had woken up by the axe blows that sounded like someone was chopping wood. Craig had 3 children and was staying with Fergus and his mother after recently separating from his wife. Fergus's reason for murder: he was annoyed Craig did not thank him for cooking dinner that evening. Court documents quote Fergus as saying, "He just annoyed me and I did it. I'm not proud, but I did it." The documents also indicate the dinner incident was the last straw of a long-time feud the brothers had, including a fistfight they had 4 months earlier. Fergus was also drunk. Despite pleading guilty, Fergus received a life sentence for the murder, with a minimum non-parole period of 10 years. In a hearing on May 16, 2019, the courts granted Fergus parole to begin in October 2019, with a progress hearing by February 2020. The decision came based on evidence Fergus had completed his rehabilitation, had accommodations, and was supported in the community by his mother. He was also already working outside the prison and living in self-care with no incident. 6. Kuno Hoffmann. This vampire doesn't sparkle. In May 1972, Kuno Hoffmann from Bavaria, Germany, was arrested for grave robberies and killing 2 people. Police had records of at least 35 incidents where Hoffmann trespassed into graveyards and mortuaries from 1971 to 1972. Hoffmann would stab the corpses he stole with razor blades and sometimes either cut their heads off, drink their blood, or attempt to have sex with female corpses. He admitted from his prison cell that he did it to become good-looking and strong. Hoffmann was a mute who suffered a traumatic childhood where his alcoholic father beat him so severely he lost the ability to talk and hear. Following 9 years of imprisonment for theft charges, Hoffmann became obsessed with self-improvement through the occult sciences. He read about Satanism and black magic, focusing on necrophilia and vampirism rituals. When molesting the graveyard corpses didn't make him handsome, Hoffmann assumed he needed fresher bodies. That's when he decided to kill Marcus Adler, age 24, and Adler's fiancée Ruth Lissy, age 18, on May 6, 1972. He shot them in their car and drank their blood. Hoffmann confessed readily, and the courts sentenced him to life imprisonment in a mental asylum. 5. Glenna Brooke Pinkerton. False report on dead baby. While women are known to fake pregnancies for various reasons, including wanting a significant other to stay with them, someone rarely fakes a birth and death of a baby. However, 32-year-old Glenna Brooke Pinkerton from Nashville, Tennessee, did just this for attention. In March 2020, Pinkerton claimed her ex-boyfriend, Antonio Allen, shot her 1-year-old daughter in the head. Pinkerton told authorities she buried her daughter in March 2018 at Two Rivers Park. She led forensic investigators and cadaver dogs on a wild goose chase as they searched the area for the body with no success. The problem is, she never gave birth to a child. Her brother also confirmed he was unaware his sister was ever pregnant. Pinkerton later admitted she created the story. When authorities asked her why, she said, "Attention, I guess." Police arrested and charged Pinkerton for filing a false report. 4. Anatoly Yurievich Moskvin, the world's creepiest DIY dolls. If science or black magic finds a way to bring people back to life, historian Anatoly Yurievich Moskvin was ready to revive the children's bodies he stole. On November 2, 2011, the police arrested 45-year-old Moskvin for having 26 bodies of girls in his apartment and garage. Moskvin was exhuming the bodies and using mummification techniques before concealing them in dry places around cemeteries. Once dried up, he would bring the bodies home and dress them up to look like dolls. He gave them female clothes, stockings, knee-length boots, and applied makeup and lipstick. He also put music boxes in their rib cages. Moskvin's parents, who lived in the apartment with him, saw the mummified bodies but thought they were large dolls. When asked about his motive, Moskvin said he felt sorry for the girls and wanted to give them functional bodies when he discovered a way to bring them back to life. By beautifying them, he would make them comfortable and happy once they revived. Moskvin would search for obituaries of recently deceased children and select ones that spoke to him. He would sleep on the child's grave and said he only dug up graves when he got permission. In May 2012, the courts determined Moskvin had paranoid schizophrenia and sentenced him to a psychiatric hospital. In November 2020, a medical commission recommended releasing Moskvin due to the successful treatment of his schizophrenia. Still, the judge extended his sentence for an extra 6 months. 3. Kevin Watkins, killed over Wi-Fi password. While not having a strong Wi-Fi connection to play video games can be frustrating, it's usually not something to kill over. For Georgia teen Kevin Lamar Watkins, it was. In February 2018, 16-year-old Watkins killed his 20-year-old sister, Alexis Brianna Watkins, in a deadly chokehold. Kevin and his mother were arguing because he changed the home Wi-Fi password to play video games without interruptions. As the argument escalated, Alexis stepped in to protect her mother. Kevin and Alexis wrestled onto the floor, and he placed his sister in a chokehold. His mother called 911. By the time police showed up, at least 10 minutes later, Kevin still had a hold of his sister. Deputies tried to save her with CPR, but she was pronounced dead later that night at a local hospital. Watkins was charged with felony murder and aggravated assault by strangulation. In February 2018, Watkins received a life sentence for the murder. He cried at the result of his sentence and said he was sorry. 2. Katie Jade Gates, tomatoes for dinner. Please pass the assault. In Callahan, Florida, on September 12, 2019, Katie Jadegate threw a fit at dinner because she wanted her fair share of tomatoes. Her family tried to reprimand her, but she became enraged. The 19-year-old threw a pack of cigarettes, hitting her 73-year-old great-grandmother, Carolyn Shader, in the eye. She also grabbed a knife and chased her grandfather, Edward Shadle, around the house, saying she would stab him in the face. Police arrested and charged Gates with 2 felonies: aggravated battery on a person over 65 and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. By September 24, 2019, she left jail after posting an $18,000 bond. However, the judge restrained her from contacting her grandfather and great-grandmother as she waited for trial. 1. Joshua Davies. It's the most important meal of the day. While bets can be fun and games, when it's taken too seriously and leads to death, the fun goes out the window. In early 2010, Joshua Davies killed his 15-year-old ex-girlfriend, Rebecca Aylward, in Bridgend, Wales. His motive? A schoolyard dare that would win him a fried breakfast. The 15-year-old Davies murdered Aylward by hitting her on the head with a large rock. He had also planned 2 alternative methods of poisoning her with Ribena or drowning her in a river. Davies' trial started on June 2011, and on July 27, 2011, the jury found him guilty of murder. The court sentenced Davies to a minimum of 14 years in prison. During the trial, the friend who had dared him said he received a text message 2 days before the murder. Davies wrote, "Don't say anything, but you may just owe me a breakfast." The friend told the jury he thought it was only a joke and that Davies was messing about. It wasn't until 2018 that Davies finally confessed to his crimes in the hopes of a bid for early release.